All right, I have everything here that I need to make one loaf of my favorite soft sourdough sandwich bread. It's the one that I found works the best for me and doesn't require a whole lot of fancy stuff. Okay, so I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer to do the kneading portion because it's just a lot easier. I have a scant cup of, just almost a cup of warm milk. I'm using oat milk here because I'm used to baking dairy-free and it doesn't affect the quality of the flavor at all. There's 3 tablespoons of sugar. Stir, 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 mix, 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 stir, 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 mix, 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 mix. Okay. Next up, we are going to be adding our sourdough starter. Now we only want to use about half of a cup of the sourdough starter, which is 150 grams. Now I used my discards from earlier, and I know this is closer to a cup. So I'm going to set this equal to 0 again. Again, you don't have to measure if you don't want to, or like use the weights. With baking, they do say baking by weight is just a lot more precise, and honestly, it's a little bit easier once you get used to it. It takes less cleaning of materials because you're just adding it all as you go and not having to measure it ahead of time, especially with something goopy like bloop. Oh, so close. It's good enough. And then I'm gonna mix this as well as I can to combine. Mix, 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 mix. I want 400 grams of bread flour. I did already measure this out ahead of time, but hey, you know what? Just for fun, let's see. Don't know why I'm on the edge of my seat here. Close enough. Wonderful. So there is 400 grams, about a little over 3 cups. Okay, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. It says sea salt, it doesn't really matter. All right, I have a dough hook on my KitchenAid mixer. This is just a standard KitchenAid. It doesn't have anything fancy except for the dough hook, which is standard with all KitchenAid mixers. Oop, forgot to lock it. While that is on low speed, I'm going to add some soft butter. And now I used country crock spread because we have that around our house for our regular butter usage, and it's already soft, so it's like one last step. I always forget to do things like soften my butter and warm my milk ahead of time. It should have been warm milk, and I always forget, so I have to heat it up in the microwave and test it. So now this is really an important step here. It makes, I mean, obviously it makes it buttery, okay, I get that, but it gives it a little bit of extra moisture and the right kinds of fats too. So this is an enriched dough, which I really like. I like this a lot, so much that some of my other recipes I've modified by adding the soft butter to the dough. And now again, this is a dairy-free, plant-based butter. Just like I said, I got really used to cooking with plant-based dairy, and it's kind of a hard habit to break. So once it's at this stage, I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes so that it can really get kneaded. Okay, so this has been mixing for 5 minutes. It's pretty sticky. I am gonna see if I can do this one-handed. It's sticky because of that butter, but that is just fine. I'm gonna take a glass bowl. No particular reason it has to be glass. I'm giving it a spray with Pam because, ooh, she be sticky. Now, this is going to need to rise 12 to 18 hours. I'm assuming because it's pretty cold out today, like below 0. Even though obviously we're in the house, it's gonna take 18 hours to rise. So I'm gonna cover this with a little more so it's not so tacky, and some saran wrap on top. All right, this sourdough has more than doubled. It is happy, it is healthy, And the cool thing is no yeast was added. It's just the power of the sourdough cultures that got it this way. So I did wrap it in towels because it's really cold. So I was worried it wouldn't rise. And now I'm gonna take it out. And this is kind of a fun part, but flour your hands. My hands are really kind of dusty right now. Save that saran wrap. And we're gonna try to like get it off. This is the fun part. Whoop. Now, we're just gonna knead it a little bit so that those gluten strands have a chance to come together a little bit better. So I'm gonna take my pan now. I'm gonna roll it into roughly loaf shape and plop it in there. The recipe says make sure you fold the ends over, but I've noticed by the time I get, by the time it rises, it really doesn't matter. Okay, I need to stretch it out a little. I'm gonna take the saran wrap that was oiled, the oiled side, and cover it for about an hour to 2. It should go about an inch above the loaf pan. Usually that takes more than an hour for me, but that's what the recipe says. So I usually let it sit in 2. Letting it sit a little bit longer isn't really gonna hurt it at all. You're just building up more oxygen pockets or air pockets in the bread, and it's gonna be really light and fluffy. All right, this bread is looking great. You can see it's well over the sides of the pan. I've had the oven setting at 350. Take this off, save it for later. And you're just gonna pop it in here for 30 to 35 minutes. Timer just went off. Let's check it out. Now technically it says the internal temperature has to be a certain amount, blah, blah, blah. But you can really tell it's done. Now the trick here is we want a soft sandwich bread. So I have my tablespoon of melted butter here. I'm gonna be really liberal with it. This just soaks into the outside of the bread so that it doesn't get too hard of a crust. Make sure you get every little bit. I'm gonna let it sit here for a few minutes and then I'll turn it out on to the drying rack. All right, after 5 minutes or so in the pan, I popped the bread out on here to let it cool fairly completely. It's really soft and like I'm surprised nobody's ripped into it yet, but it cuts great. As you can see here, it is fantastic and puffy and light and absolutely delicious. Cheers.